everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be episode 2 of my series I have here on my channel called Getting Use Out of My Collection. So in the first part I did a review of the Colourpop All I See Is Magic palette, and today we're going to talk about the Colourpop Dream St palette, which is a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. And so I have been using this the past couple of weeks, and my thing in this project is that I want to use each shade in a palette at least 3 times, and then I want to get on camera and do a review of the palette so that I can form an opinion. Like this review is mostly for me, so that I can form an opinion and know what I think about the palettes in my collection. And so I had never used this before I put it in this sort of project. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts and some looks I have done with this palette. So let's just get into it. So this is what the palette looks like on the inside if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to do what I did last time and just go through each of the shades and tell you what I think about them. So let's start with this one, which is called Shooting Star. And this is a good neutral transition shade that I like to use, as I said, in my transition and into my crease. And it has great quality and it's very easy to blend out, and yeah, I really like this shade. And the next shade we have here is called Magical, and this is the exact same formula as the first one in my opinion, and they are very similar in quality, and this is sort of like your peachy sort of transition shade. And I like this one as well. Both of these perform very well. And then we have the first one in this palette that is not my favorite, and this one is called Stardust, and this is sort of like a coppery, I know Kathleen Lights describe it as like a copper with pink sparkles in it, but for me it's just a copper and it's not very good quality either. When I try to use this on my eyes, if I just put it on, I feel like it would just poof and fly away. I feel like there is too little binder in it, so that when I put it on my eyes I need to use a like setting spray on my brush or like a really tacky primer just to like place it on my lid so that it will stick to my lid. And I feel like there are tons of eyeshadows out there in this color that perform much better than this one, so this is a disappointment for me in this palette. And then we have the shade Twinkle, which is a really pretty like shimmery rose gold shade, and if you've seen my Instagram you know that this is a exact dupe for the Makeup Geek foil eyeshadow in Grandstand. I will have a picture of what they look like, but it's a really pretty rose gold. One thing that I was disappointed with when I opened this palette was that these two look very similar like to the eyes, and even though they don't look that extremely similar in like on the eyes, I still feel like the creativity when you look at the palette is sort of disturbed by there being 2 shades that look almost exactly the same just right beside each other. I don't know how I would have solved it, because I feel like even though you will put it like down here, you would still, maybe you will feel more that they were too similar, I don't know, but I feel like you could have used these in a different way and maybe like created a quad like somewhere else in this palette and not put them like side by side. And then we have this shade which is called Sweet Dreams, and I don't really like this shade either. I think when I watched Kathleen Lights video, she described it as like a pink and like yellow duochrome and sort of like a topper shade, and I don't get where it fits in with all the other shades in this palette. It's not good quality. You have to use a setting spray if you want to use it, because the same problem I have with this shade is that it just sort of poofs away or it does not want to stick to your eye. So not really my favorite in this palette. And then we have Water Bearer. This is also very good quality. I feel like all the mattes in this palette are great quality. It does sort of become a little bit patchy if you don't have like a sticky base underneath. So when I use it, I like to put my MAC Painterly all over my lid. Like I put it from my lash line up to my brow bone, and then I just set it with a shadow that is close to my skin tone, just like right here down to the crease, and then I leave the lid like tacky, and then I would go in with the water barrier all over my lid and then use it like lightly on a smaller brush just to blend out the crease. But I think that is how you get it like most opaque and not patchy. And then we have Potion, which is sort of like your warm brown that you can use like all over your lid or in the crease. In Kathleen Light's like her release video, she had this all over her lid and it was super pretty. I really like this shade. It's a great quality, and it's if you saw my review of the All I See Is Magic palette, then you know that I did not like the mid-tone brown in that palette because it did not layer well, but this does. So this is a much better quality shadow than the one in that palette. And then we have Spark, and this is also very good quality. In my opinion, I think everyone else describes it as like a corally pink. I don't know, on me I feel like it's red. I don't know. You will see in the looks I have done later that, I don't know, you tell me if you feel like it looks red on me, but for me it's like a pinkish red. I still feel like it's a red. I don't wear it. It's not what I'm wearing today, so don't judge this look I have now. But it's a very great quality, and I love the pigmentation of this one. And then we have Kaleidoscope, and I really like this shade because it goes so well with this shade here, which is Mermaid Boy and Water Bearer. I feel like it really brings out the blue tones in this silver. It's sort of like a silvery blue. So I like this shade, and I feel like it's better quality than this one. It's still sort of like a tougher shade, so you probably want to use a setting spray when you use this, but I still really like it. And then we have Elfish, which is a really good quality eyeshadow and a good color. I like that they have like your transition shades, and then some you can go into the crease with, and then this you can just like darken the outer corner and up into the crease. So then we have the shade Moony in the palette, but this is not the shade Moony because I use the All I See Is Magic palette, and I think that this shade is called Treat Yourself. So this is actually Treat Yourself, and this is Moony right here, because I did not like Moony at all. It's a very awkward shade on me. It's not too, like, it's too dark to highlight with, and I don't use those types of satin shades all over my lid because I'm usually wearing something a bit more bold. So this is actually not in this palette. I just put it here. Like you can take the shades out and just put, because they have a magnet, like the palette is made of a magnet, so you can just move them around. So I did that just to have like a highlighting shade in this palette. And then the last shade we have here is Mermaid Boy, and I mean, it's not a bad quality eyeshadow. It's pretty good. What I would do is that I would put water barrier all over my lid, and then I would put this on top, because the good part about having a matte that is very, very close to the tone and not a shimmer, like this corresponds very well. The good part about that is that you can put this down first and then you can put this over. So if this lacks a bit of pigmentation, that's fine because you have this underneath. So that is what I would do. You could also use it with a setting spray, but I find it easier to just pack this on and then pack this on over. And as I said before, like this one, and this one creates a beautiful look. I think those are stunning together. So yeah, those were all the shades in the palette. Hopefully I managed to get in some swatches of them as well. And so as you can tell from me talking about these shades, you can probably guess that it's not my favorite palette. I feel like even though some eyeshadows are great quality, I just don't see how this, like this shade right here, the Sweet Dreams, I don't get how this fits into the palette. I don't know. Yeah, all the looks I've seen with this and all the ones I have done myself. There is only one that I really loved, and that is, I'm going to show you that one later. But I don't get how this fits into the palette. I do really like these two and these two and this one, like for a very neutral look. And I do like this one, but as I said before, I don't know why she would put these side by side. And I feel like I'm a bit more harsh about this palette than I was with the All I See Is Magic palette, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they will go more thought into a palette that you do as a collaboration. Like I feel like Kathleen Lights have really thought about the layout of this palette, and I still don't get it. So I'm a bit more harsh about the shades in this one than I am in the other one. But I am very glad that she included like Water Bearer and Spark, because I feel like the colors really made this palette more interesting. And as I said, like Moony is not my favorite shade at all. So yeah, it's a good quality palette for, like, I always hear YouTubers say it's a good quality palette for the price. I think that the mattes are good quality, period. Like they are good quality. The shimmers you sort of have to work with a bit more, except for this shade, which is called Twinkle. This is like a good quality, it's a good quality eyeshadow, but the other shimmers I feel like you have to work with a bit, and like that's fine if you only pay $16 and they are good for the price. But I would, like, I have eyeshadows that are definitely better quality. But as I said, the mattes are really good. So if you feel like you look at this palette and you see the mattes and you think that you could get use out of them, I think you would be really happy with it. And then if you feel like you could put that extra work in with the shimmery shades, I feel like, yeah, you could like this. So yeah, let's get into my looks. I'm just going to pull up my phone. So the first look I did was a very colorful look, and for this look I put Water Bearer in my outer corner, and then I put Spark on my inner corner, and then I sort of blended them out in the crease with a yellow shade and sort of a tiny bit of a green and a orange. And if you haven't seen, I have this on my Instagram. I will leave my tag right here, Makeupbyalexy, and there I have a video of me doing this look. And then the second look is where I used all the like neutral shades. I used Magical, I also used Potion, and I think I used a tiny bit of Elfish, but then I also used Fortune Teller by Makeup Geek. So that is the yellow you see all over the lid. And the next look is also one of my favorites, and here is what I talked about before, where I used Water Bearer in my outer corner, and then I used Mermaid Boy on my lid. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, but in the previous look, the first look, I also used Mermaid Boy like on the center of my eyelid. But for this look, I used Water Bearer in the outer corner, and then I used Mermaid Boy sort of like in the center of the eyelid, and then I used Kaleidoscope in like the inner half. And I really feel like this look is so pretty and that they go perfectly together. And then the fourth look is just a very neutral look with, I think I used Twinkle and all the neutrals like Shooting Star and Elfish and all of those like in my outer corner. And yeah, it's a pretty neutral look. This is sort of the same, I think. It's just that in the other I did a halo eye, and here I did sort of on the inner corner. And I think I might have topped it with a bit of Sweet Dreams like on my inner, just to inner corner, just to brighten it up. And then this look is very special because here I used Makeup Geek Hopscotch like all into my crease and on my lower lash line and sort of in the outer corner. And then I think I used a tiny bit of Water Bearer in my outer corner, and the one you see on my lid is the shade Stardust, which you know is not my favorite. And then we have one look where I used the orange tone, so I used Magical, and I also used Spark in my outer corner, and I think I probably used Potion as well. And then for the lid I think I used Kaleidoscope or Sweet Dreams, or maybe a mix of those. I'm not really sure. I think I used Kaleidoscope, and the look turned out pretty. It's a pretty look. And then I have two others that I don't have on my phone, but I'm going to try and remember them from memory. But the first one, I took Spark and put it all over my lid up into my crease, and then I just put and like blended that out. I think I used a bit of Magical to blend it out, and then I put Sweet Dreams like on the inner half of my eyelid. And as I said before, this is like the only way I like to use Sweet Dreams, with the red shadow all over like my crease and outer corner area, and then just this on my lid, because I feel like the yellow of this shade and the red-ish pink in this shade really go well together. So I really like that one. And then for the other one, I wanted to play around more with Sweet Dreams, like this one. So I put, I think I put Elfish all over my lid and blended it out with Potion and Shooting Star. And then I put Sweet Dreams like in the center of my lid. And I think you might be able to tell from this look that it's not like showing up as much as you want it to, or it looks sort of like it's just going to disappear, like the longevity is not very good, or you feel like the longevity is not very good because it feels like it's just going to poof away. And I haven't had any like problems with longevity in this palette, but that is just because I use a like tacky primer when I pack on the eyeshadows, and then I like use a setting spray and stuff. So if I feel like a shadow goes on too powdery, then I will always go over it with like an extra layer with a wet brush or something, just so that I can get the longevity. And I never have a problem with eyeshadows fading on me, so I don't know if someone else with maybe more like oily eyelids would have a problem. I can't like, yeah, I can't tell you about that because I don't have that problem. So yeah, that was everything for the Dream Street palette. Hopefully I got my opinion across there. I think it's a good palette, but I don't get it, so it's not my favorite palette. And if you feel like you're a more neutral loving person, then maybe you like it more. But as I said, some shades in the palette are not my favorite, and some are actually really good. So yeah, that was everything for that palette. Now on to the next palette that I'm going to focus on, and I haven't decided yet which one I want to focus on, because I've been using the All I See Is Magic palette and the Dream Street palette, sorry, this Dream Street palette. I have been craving a lot of colorful looks, so as you can see, I have a very colorful look today, and yesterday I had one where I had like blue and green. I think you will see it because I filmed yesterday as well. But so, I haven't decided yet which one I want to focus on for the next bit, or what I want to use in my next update. So, the candidates are, I'm going to put up like a poll in the, it's here, right? Yeah, I think so. Because I'm going to try and put up a poll in the cards of two palettes, and then I want you to help me pick which palette you want me to do for the next, because I've been trying to pick for like a week now and I just can't, so you need to help me pick one. And the first one is the M Cosmetics summer palette. So I bought this on Black Friday, and M Cosmetics is a Canadian indie brand, so a girl that does these eyeshadows at home, and like the swatches on her website and on her Instagram are incredible. And so yeah, here we have one colorful palette. Why I'm not 100% certain I want to use this one is because there are no mattes in this palette, so I don't know, it's just, I don't know why. That is a factor. But okay, so the second palette that I am thinking about using is the Urban Decay Electric palette, and this is what it looks like. So I have a mix of these two on my eyes today, and I am wearing Savage on my crease, and then I'm wearing Slow Burn like on my outer corner and up into my crease, and then I have a bit of this shade on like the center of my eyelid, and then I have Fortune Teller on the inner part by Makeup Geek. So yeah, let me know up in the poll which one you think that I should focus on until the next update in this product, and let me know down in the comments what you think about the Colourpop Dream St palette, and if you have any looks or tips with the shades that I mentioned are not my favorite. And give this a thumbs up if you like this series, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!